we are not going to solve any sort of problem in this session. Okay, this is not a problem solving session, just a concept understanding session chapter wise. So without wasting further ado, let's get started. We are going to use ChatGPT for our code explanation, okay, because I don't want to waste your time in writing some sort of unwanted stuffs. If you just type over here C programming chapter wise topics, and even the Google will show you what are the things that we need to understand and we need to know about C programming. So first off, we have the history and features of C. Look, I'm not going to waste on the theoretical parts much, because you just can go and search about C and just go over here, copy it and paste it. Simple, and you are all set. Just paste it and you will be able to know about history of C. Okay, just go and just learn about it. When C is created, who have developed C? In 1970s C is created, and Dennis Ritchie, he was the developer of C language. If you want to learn dynamic memory management, okay, pointers, you have pointers, middle level language. Okay, in short, C equals to fast, portable and low level memory access. These are the things that you need to know about C, or maybe why C is used. Why C is used, just search over here. Maybe if we talk about in the interview point of view, these kind of questions may be asked, I don't know, maybe asked sometimes for general knowledge. So all these things are mandatory to remember. Okay, here you can understand why C is used. Just go and use AI. Okay, no rocket science and nothing at all. Simple, easy and peasy. Okay, you can do it. Yeah, I'm assuming you know how to use AI. So let's move on to our architecture. Architecture, compilation and execution of flow. Just go, if you want a theoretical knowledge on that, just go and search over here. This is the very basic structure of C. This is how C programming is written. If you have already learned about C, you are well about this syntax. So for trying out coding, I will be using Programmers. Programmers, this is the online code editor. Well, in our this video, we have explained about how to install C, C++, and the GCC MinGW for Windows operating system, and how to connect it with VS Code. This is the very basic boilerplate code for C. Okay, I will not be using VS Code over here because I ran into some problem in VS Code in GCC, so I need to fix it. So yeah, let's get started. So this is the boilerplate code for C. Okay, here you can see include.stdio, int main, then here you have printf and then return 0, and yeah, here are the curly braces bracket. Okay, very simple, very simple. This is the boilerplate code. All you need to do is just to get started with this boilerplate code, and here you will be printing the hello world. Now here are few things that you need to remember if you have already started with the VS Code, which is about the include. What is this include? Well, it is telling you to include this library. Okay, now if you just type over here, explain the boilerplate code, explain the boilerplate code, just tell ChatGPT about it, explain the boilerplate code. So it basically tells the preprocessor to include the content of a header file before compilation. stdio stands for stand input output. Okay, so here this one is basically the header file. Okay, that is why it is said .h. Int main, here you have int main. Okay, int main means what? Main is basically the function, which is once again the built-in function. Okay, on VS Code, main function, and in this main function you are going to execute this entire program. Whatever C program that you are going to write, you need to execute it inside this main function. That is it. The int means that main returns the integer value to the operating system. Integer value means what? This one, this returns 0. 0 means what? No, with no error. Okay, with no error. So here you have the curly braces defining the body of the function. This is how entire thing is done, how to define it. And after that you have the print function. By using the printf, you're going to print a particular program. That's it. We're going to discuss on our next chapter, which is data types and variables. Variables is a name, memory location used to store data. That's it. For an example, you have age. Now age can be anything, any number. Someone may be 1 year old, someone may be 23-year old, someone may be 30-year old, 40, 50, 55, maybe 100, 200, 300, whatever the age is, whatever the number is, you can put in on that, and that will be the value of age. Okay, so any sort of age which stores any kind of value, it is the variable. Simple. There are multiple types of variables. If the value of that variable is a number, then we're going to store the value as int. We need to define it, we need to verify it over there. Int age, just like that. Then this tells the compiler create an integer value as named age. Okay, you can then assign a value just like this, age equals to 22, just like that. Or we can also assign like this also. Here everything is there. Okay, so what are data types? There are multiple sorts of data types over there. After running, let's see how it actually used to show up. Here I have int age equals to 234 or whatever your age is, and then we're going to print it. Printf, how we used to print a value, just write over here printf, and then we need to write %d \n. Okay, why %d? It actually clarifies the inserted value over here. Okay, all you need to do is just to use %d in order to print an integer value. Simple. Okay, %d over here, and then here you need to write age. Okay, now let's print it. See, it has printed the value as 234. What if you do something like this? Printf and here age. We can directly print the value just like that. Well, you will be doing it in case of Python, but in C language we need to use %d. What if we don't use %d? Here you can see you will get an error over here. Constant characters argument, but is of the type int. For the type int, you need to enlist the value over here %d. Okay, hopefully you get that. Now what are the various kind of data types? Let's talk about it. So the first one is integer value. Define it with the int keyword. So how it is shown? Just like this, int, let's say roll number. Roll number equals to 234 once again, that is your roll number. And don't forget to use semicolon. Okay, don't forget to use semicolon, otherwise you will be getting an error while running or executing the program. Okay, and then if I print the value by using %d \n. Why \n? In order to avoid the next print in the same line. And then if I run over here once again, see here why this one is showing up, because we haven't written the value number as roll number. So it is the memory location. All you need to do is just to enter this value over here, and then you are good to go. Now if I run it over here, see 234 once again, you have got the value as expected. Float, that means a floating point number, means the number should be in decimal format. So float, I'm going to name it as a new number, 234 once again, 0.1, 0.2, or maybe 0.1. Okay, then if I print it once again, then inside this quotation we need to write %f over here. For integer value it was %d, and for the floating point number it's %f. Once again \n. What was the reason for using \n? Comment down below. New number. Once again, if I run it, see, new number. Okay, that's fine. Now here we have the another data type, character value, means we need to use character char value equals to, inside of which we have a, or we can write b, or we can write it as c, whatever you want to write. And then if I just print over here, print, and inside of it we need to write percentage c for character, and then we have the backslash and type over here value. Once again we need to run it. Okay, what was the error over here? We need to use single quotation. Make sure you don't use double quotation. Another one is double a data type. Double is used for decimal numbers, but generally provides more precision than floats. Here we have double equals to, I'm just renaming it randomly, equals to 0.11. That means more than the first place of decimal, or maybe 6.2, whatever that we want to enlist over here. Then print f once again, and in that case what we need to use, percentage point to f. Why point to f? Means after point we have the second place of decimal, f from float. Okay, so this is the basic explanation over there. And then once again backslash n, and then we need to write over here value 1. Hopefully we got that. Let's run it. See, 234.1. Now what will happen if I write over here percentage d? Let's check it out. It will not enter the value. Okay, it will be showing the memory location, not the value, because you have already written it in double, so it doesn't recognize it as the printing value. That is whether the value is true or false. Okay, hopefully we're able to get this. True or false. True or false means if the value is true, then the value is 1. If the value is false, then the value is 0. It is as simple as that. If I write over here bull, here it is written, the keyword is bull actually, and bull value, let's say male. If I ask the program whether I am a male or a female, well, I am a male, I'm a masculine gender, so whether I'm a masculine, is it true or false? It is true. So if I just write over here as true, and then if I write print value as f percentage d, here also I need to write percentage d over here, backslash n, and after that we have male. Okay, if I run it over here once again, see, here it is written bull is defined at the header as stdbull.h, means we need to write this library also. You see, we have multiple source of library over here. We need to enter another library name in order to use bull functionality. Okay, std bull, we need to include it, and then see, the value is 1. The value is 1, that means the value is true. If I write over here false, then once again if I run it, see, the value is 0. Okay, and there is another type of data type which is a string. Now if we want to print any sort of line or a word, only in that case we use string data type. For that thing we also need to use char name equals to, and here we need to use something like this. This is basically the array sign over here. Okay, we're going to discuss about it, about array in our upcoming chapters, but for time being, just know that for printing a string we need to use this square bracket. Vivo, that's my name, and then if I just print the value, printf, inside the square bracket we'll be using percentage s for string. Okay, then backslash n, and then name once again. Let's run it. See, it is printing the value as a people. Okay, so these are some of the important data types that we need to know in order to learn C programming. This scanf function. Okay, scanf function, how scanf function actually works. This is basically the user defined function. It will be defined by the user. Usually what happens, we use variable equals to 23, example 23, then we used to print the value as percentage d \n, and then we enter the age. After that we will get the output value. Now what is the use of scanf function? It is a user defined function. That means this value will be entered by the user, not it will be predefined. So how it is done? It will be like printf enter your age, and then scanf percentage d, don't use the \n over here, and then age. Okay, not only age but n percent age. Okay, it's a logical operator. If you write just like that, in the terminal it will ask you enter your age. Okay, so just enter your age 23, and see, it has printed the value as 23. If I enter the value as something like this, it is going to print the value, that value. Okay, so in chapter 3 we are going to learn about operators. So here we have multiple operators. I have just searched in about operators in C, and it have shown me about the different kinds of operators that we are meant to use. So first off, we have arithmetic operators. Simple, used to perform standard mathematical operations on numeric values. That means in mathematics we used to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, then division, and the modulus. Modulus means finding the remainder of a particular number. So here we have int a equals to 23. I have int b equals to, let's say, 43. Then if I print the value, print f, how it is done, d, then \n, a plus b. This plus is the additional operator. If I run it, the output will be 66. Okay, here if I just write arithmetic operator plus. Okay, so the same thing I'll be doing for minus also. Arithmetic operator negative minus. Here all I need to do, okay, let me change the value as C and this one as D. C minus D. C minus D. Arithmetic operator is a minus. Let's check out. It's a minus 20. Okay, minus 20, that means I am subtracting from the smaller number to the greater number. That is why minus 20. Integers values. Okay, then I have the arithmetic operator as which one? Multiplication. Multiplication we represent it by using the star. Here once again let me comment all these things out. C star. This will make the understanding far more easier. See, after multiplying, the value is 989. Okay, and after that if I go for division, division operator, Same thing if I do the division like this. Let me comment this one out once again. After division, the value is 0. C divided by D, the value is 0. Okay, it may be 0. Now if I do D divided by C, the value is 1. With that, let's move on to our relational or comparison operators. Now comparison operators are basically used in case of any sort of relation. For an example, we are using if else statement. In that case, we are basically using these things. Okay, so let's understand it by using one simple example. Driving license eligibility criteria. If you are 18-year-old or above 18, then you will be eligible for driving. Otherwise, you will not be eligible for that. So how it will be done? For an example, int age, and the user will be entering the age. So it will be like printf, then enter your age, and after that scanf %d \n. After that I'll write age. Okay, that means the user will be entering their age. Now whatever thing that they have entered, I need to make sure is it eligible or not. If age equals to 18 or age greater than 18, so what will happen? Printf eligible for driving license. Okay, eligible for driving. Hopefully we got that. Else what will happen? Printf not eligible for driving. Okay, here I did one mistake. I forgot to use this %. It will be like that. Let me run it once again. Enter your age, let's say 23. So I am eligible for driving. If I enter 12, not eligible for driving. If I enter 18, again eligible for driving. Okay, 18. So this is the use case of this double equal to, this greater than, less than symbol. Okay, just go and pick one example for each of these operators and you will be able to understand. You will be good to go. Okay, here one of the logical operators I have already used. This is the OR operator. I can use the AND operator. Means if you accept both of the condition. OR operators means when you consider one of the condition. That means either this or this. Now for the AND operator, this is the AND operator. Both of the condition will be considered. Okay. And here we have logical NOT. When something is not equal to 18, when something is not equal to a certain value, only in that case a function will run. Okay, let's say int number equals to 2. Now here if I use if number not equals to 2, then what will happen? Printf number not 2, something like that, number not 2. Otherwise number 2, or maybe the value will be entered by the user, comma and % number. Okay, so here if I enter over here 1, then number not 2. Okay, if I enter 5, number will not 2, it is running the first condition. Now if I run over here 2, the value will be number 2. Okay, so this is the not operator. Now what is the difference between double equal to and single equal to? Here you have already seen over here, this single equal to is the assignment operator, okay, for assigning a certain value. But the difference over here is this is the equal to operator. All these things you can try it by yourself. Then we have our ternary operators, which are plus plus, minus minus, then question mark, and then assigning the value, conditional ternary operator, and then we have the relational operators, which are the pointers. Then we have the pointer operator and a single multiplication operator. Most of the time these three things are used. The first two things are used in case of loops, and the third case are used in case of if else statement. A equals to 23. If I write a plus plus, then print %d and the value a, then what will be the value? Okay, simple mistake, another simple mistake. Now if I run this one, see the value will be 24. How it is going to be 24? A plus plus means a increased by 1. Okay, so hopefully we got this. Then minus minus means decreased by 1. Okay, decreased by 1. You understood it, just do it by yourself. Okay, so these are all about the operators. Hopefully we got this. Okay, so hi and welcome to our new video, and in this session we're going to talk about page and responsive control flow statements, where we will be discussing about the decision making formulas by using if else, nested if, or if else ladders. So let me show you with a very simple example. If a person is 18-year-old or maybe above 18, they are allowed to drive. Otherwise they are not allowed to drive. It's a very simple thing. Greater than 18 I can write over here, and also I can just do one thing, which is double and age equal to 18, print, the program will execute applicable for driving, printf not for driving, not applicable for driving. Very much simple and straightforward. I can also write this line, assignment operator. We need to use double equal to for that. So it will be asking my age. I will be entering as 34. I'll be entering as any sort of age which is greater than 18, and then not applicable for driving. Okay, I can write it in this way. Applicable for driving, it should be like that. 234, yeah, applicable for driving. 12, not applicable for driving. Okay, this is the very much simple condition. Okay, then we have if else. Okay, so this is the if else condition, if else. Okay, nested if means inside the if condition we have another if condition, then in that case it is called nested if. Okay, if I consider this example, let's use another rule for that. If the age is between 20 to 25, then they are applicable for BMW. Otherwise they are not applicable for BMW. So it will be like, if the age is greater than or equal to 20. Okay, 20 and is less than or equal to 25. Okay, 20 to 25. In that case, what will going to happen? I'll be just typing printf applicable for BMW. They can try BMW. Okay. Else printf not applicable for BMW. Okay, very simple and straightforward. Now let's run the program. 20 to 25. I'll be writing 23. Well, let's make it a bit beautiful over here. If I run it once again and 23, it will be like applicable for driving, applicable for BMW. Okay, so that is a use case of nested if. Hopefully we got this. Then if else later, we're going to find this one. Means we're going to have else if, else if, else if. Then at the very last we have else. Write it by myself. I'm just copying it. Okay, and then let me paste it over here. If age is less than 5, then ticket category toddler or free. It will be free. If the age is less than 18, then it will be like the ticket category should be the child rate, and less than 60, it will be the adult rate, and else the ticket category should be for the senior citizen category. I should be avoiding writing this one. I will be asking the user about it. What is your age? So printf once again, printf, then enter your age. Oops, enter your age, then scanf %d, then n% age. Enter your age. If I just type 26, adult ticket category. The same thing if I just write over here as 32, adult ticket category, and then here it is written in the else if section if the age is less than 60, or if I just write over here 78, senior citizen rate. So the program is running perfectly. So here what actually is happening, we have the multiple case scenario, multiple conditions are there. This if else is used when multiple condition is applied. Else if means another if kind of condition, but it is connected with this one. If you write over here another if, then it will be disconnected from this if. But if you write over here else if, then it will be connected with this if. Hopefully you got that. Very much simple and straightforward. So same thing you can follow by using another else if over here, and then at the very last we need to use else over here. Else means the else condition as the very last option that we have. Okay, the last we have this switch case scenario, multi-way branching based on the decreed integer or category constants. A switch case statement is a control statement used for multi-way branching. Multi-way branching means it is kind of like if else, but it works little bit differently as compared to if else. Okay, expression will be there, and there will be the constant 1, constant 2, constant 3, and always we are going to use a break statement. Okay, break means breaking the loop. Switch, and over here day will be there. If it is first day, then Monday. Okay, Monday, and then we need to use break. So I will be copying it once again. This will be day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. To day 6 we are going to write, and then it will be obviously Sunday. And for the 6th case, it will be Saturday. It will be 6. Okay, the default will be Sunday. Default will be printf Sunday. Okay, I think it is because of this one. I need to use, I forgot to use this thing. Okay, so I have done some mistake over here. I forgot to use n%. Now let's run the program. Yeah, now it is okay. The day, if I just write the day is 6, it's Saturday. By default, if I just write 234, the output will be Sunday. Okay, if I write 1, it's Monday. If I write 2, 22, sorry, it's 2, it's Tuesday. If I write over here 3, then Wednesday, just like that. So our switch case statement is working perfectly. So this is how the switch case statement is done. Okay, hopefully we got this. Okay, so now we're going to discuss about loops and the structures. Well, I'll be picking up one example, and by using that one example, we will be understanding these 3 kinds of loops. Okay, all together. Loops is used when we want to execute a block of code repeatedly as long as a particular condition is satisfied. For an example, I want to print the number from 0 to 10. Now we have 2 ways to run this program. Either we can do printf and then we can write 1, then once again printf 2, then printf 3, printf 4, printf 5, like that up to 10. And then we can execute the program. It will be showing that. But what will happen when you will be writing for 1 to 100, or maybe 1 to 1000, or maybe 1 to 10,000? Means it is going to take a whole lot of pointless time in order to execute that code. You are definitely not going to do that. It will be way too much stupid. So in order to tackle that, we use loop. So basically there are 3 types of loops. As you can see over here, we have while loop, for loop, and do while loop. Okay, now while loop checks the condition before executing the loop body. Each of the loops have its own structure to execute. Now here you can see this is the syntax of while loop. If I copy it down, loops and structures, first we are going to learn about while loop. Okay, so the example will be first a natural number. So by using while, do while, and for loop. Okay, so first let's start with the while loop. So here while, and then there will be the condition, and then here you will be writing the code under this condition, and it is going to execute this entire program. So for finding the first and natural number, what will be the case? We need a starter value. That means int num1 equals to, let's say 0. It will get started from 0. So how the code will be like, while, then the condition will be num1. Okay, num1 will be less than or equal to 10. 1 to 10 means we need to count as 10 as well. And then inside the parenthesis, num1 plus plus, printf %d \n, and then comma num1. Now we have already learned about the plus plus operator. Means plus plus means what? Increase by 1. Okay, then plus 2 means increase by 2. If I run it, what will be the value? See, it starts from 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, I should be going for this one. Yeah, now it is okay. See, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, so this is the work of while loop. Then we are going to talk about do while loop. Do while loop, I will be picking another variable which is int num2 equals to 0. Means it will be doing the function first, and then it will be checking the condition. It is just the alternate, just the reverse of while loop. First of all, do this task, means printf, inside the printf %d \n, and then num2. Okay, then num2 plus plus. All right, and then we are going to write as while, do while, and here we will be writing num2 less than or equal to 10. Very much simple and straightforward. Okay, hopefully we are able to understand. Let's execute the program. Let's see. It is, see, once again it has started from 0 to 1. Do while loop. Okay, now it is working perfectly. See, the same thing is running over here. So now we are going to write about the for loop. For loop. Once again, I'll be writing another variable which is int num3 and equals to, okay, and then, okay, let me do one thing. Yeah, do while running the for loop. Num3 equals to, let's say once again 0, and then for num3 less than or equal to 10, then num3 plus plus, and then hopefully this is the way it is done. It will be this semicolon over here, and then we're going to run the code as printf, once again percentage d backslash n, and then num3. Okay, here we don't have to write num2 or num3 plus plus because we have already written it inside this condition. So this is the for loop. If we write it once again, see, it has started from 0 and then it get executed from 1 to 10. Okay, we have already learned about the switch case scenario, how switch case scenario works. So here we use break statement, or either we can also use continue statement. We can say the break statement instantly terminates the innermost enclosing loop. Now for an example, I have the printed values from 1 to 10. Now I want the values up to 5. So what I will be doing, I will be just writing over here if I equals to 5. Okay, over here it is written if I equals to 5, only then you break this entire loop. So how it is going to be like, if num3 equals to 5, then what is going to happen? Break. Simple. Over here we're going to execute this one. Oh, okay, hopefully we got this. I think it will be over here, break, and then we're going to print it over here. So let me print the values. Because here you can see it has printed the value up to 4. Now we need to use the continue statement. When continue statement is used, when the value is going to be is 6, then we are going to write continue int num3 equals to 0. We haven't done the initiation of that number from 0 to 10. So here you will not be able to see the 6th value. Means in a particular loop, if we don't want to execute a certain value, then we, in order to skip that value, we use continue statement. Okay, it is basically a skipping statement. So we're going to understand a very basic nature about functions, how functions works, what are functions, and how to actually use functions in order to getting things done in a fast way. I'll be using AI for the quick explanation. Very basic and small things are there, so don't worry about it much. Function means what? In a very simple term, is the activity that is going on. It is functionality that is going on. For an example, it is doing the function what? It is doing the function of executing a program. Then we have ChatGPT. It have the functionality of generating the code. Then this browser, it have the functionality to connect ourselves with the internet. So basically functions are just the activity. That's it. Let's say we need to do addition of two numbers by using functions. We're going to do about it. So first, void. This is how writing a function gets started. You can name the function by using any sort of name. Then we need to enter parameters int a, b, printf, then percentage d backslash n, and here we are going to do a plus b. Okay, now we don't know the value of a and b over here. Let's say we write a equals to 22 and then b equals to 55. Okay, and then we need to declare the function, then declare the function. Inside this main, we are going to declare it. How we are going to declare it? Just write addition. Hopefully we are able to understand this. And actually we don't need to write it over here. You can write like this also, but here we need to pass the arguments. Whenever you will be declaring the function inside the main, at that point, here are the arguments. Arguments means what? Passing the values. Here I'll be writing 22 and 43. Alright, so that makes sense. Then let me run it. See, the value is 66 over here. This 22 and 43, they are the arguments, and here int a and int b are the parameters. So arguments are basically the values of parameters. It is just like we are declaring the variable over here, and here we are entering the values, and we need to enter the values while declaring this function. This is a very basic way to write. Okay, so hopefully we got this. This is how a function works. Now what is the benefit of writing a function? Well, you see, if you want to add multiple functionality, only in that case we need function. Okay, hopefully we got this. For an example, in this entire program, I want to do something like addition, subtraction, multiplication, all these things all together. In order to avoid making the code lengthy, we use these functions. For an example, I want to do something like void subtraction. Then here if I just do int b, once again int a comma int b, printf once again %d \n, and then a minus b, and then we can also declare it ps 3rsc3ion 44, let's say 23. If I run it once again, see, it have shown me the value. Well, here a and b are for addition function, and here this ab are for subtraction function. They are not alike. It has nothing to do with this one, this a and b. It is something like a same person doing multiple job, and it has nothing to do with each other. For an example, I am a person, I'm doing content creation also, and also doing a job, and my content creation journey has nothing to do with my job. But still, the person I am is the same. So this is the content creation, and this is the job. Over here inside this main function is who I am. I am doing both of this job. Very simple and straightforward example. Okay, so now we are going to understand about the return keyword. What is the function of this return keyword? I'm doing it once again, and this is for, let's say, division int a and b. For an example, if I write over here int c equals to a plus b, okay, and I want to write return over here, return c. Okay, return c. This is the same thing that is happening inside the main function as well. Return 0. Return 0 means there is no error. Okay, every single code inside this compiler have got into running successfully. And then over here I need to enter one variable. How? In case of return, the function then print it. Okay, so here what I can do, int a, let's say s equals to division, and inside the s, let's say 5,2, and then printf %d \n, s. So this is the way of using return function. I think here I forgot to do one thing. It should be int. Okay, this is just like the main function. Return statement should be used with int. If I run it, yes, the value is 7. So in case of return, when you will be returning a value, when you will be using this keyword, always make sure to use int over here. Otherwise return is not going to work, because it returns the integer variable over here. Okay, and in the time of execution it helps you to print it down. The same thing is happening inside this built-in function, which is the main. And here for using the return 0, we use return. So yeah, that's it for functions. Well, this comes under the data structures, how the data actually works. In order to understand the memory management also, we need to understand about array. Also, if we want to understand the string, then we also need to understand about the array first. As rows of the connected locker boxes in memory, instead of creating 5 different types of variable, you create one array that holds 5 items. Okay, it is kind of like a stock of cups, where you make a stock. Inside this one stock we have multiple books or multiple cups inside the kitchen or in the library. So it is kind of like that. But let me show you how it is actually seen. We have the 1D array, one dimensional array, and 2-dimensional array. Just like that, we have multiple dimensional arrays as well. Basically up to 1 and 2 is used. We also have 3-dimensional array, but that includes the height. You see, for 1-dimensional array we have only the length. For 2-dimensional array we have the breadth. 3-dimensional array have height, length, breadth and height. It's very simple and straightforward. Arrays are basically written just like this way. We need to use a square bracket over here. Inside this, the number of values that we're going to enter over here, we need to enter that number of values, that number. For an example, here you have 3 values. That is why it is written 3 over here. Let me do one thing. Yeah, now it is fine. So here, as we have 3 number of values, so here it is written 3. Now if I add one more value over here, one more value, let's say 23, then here I should be writing 4. Okay, so this is the index values. Okay, indexing. Now here you need to make sure to understand the concept about rows and columns. Okay, in 1D array, for 1-dimensional array, only rows are there. Only rows are there. Okay, for 2D array we have rows and columns. Now if you may get confused about what is the use case of that, it is basically our memory kind of looks like this. In a single value we can store multiple datas. For an example, beforehand we need to declare 2 variables in order to get an output. Now here we are declaring one array, and inside this array we have multiple values. It is just like in a passenger car we have multiple passengers. In a train we have multiple passengers. It is not like they are moving independently. In one particular train, here Mark 4 is the train and these values are the passengers. Inside this train we have all these passengers. So it is kind of like that. Array contains a bunch of values. Hopefully we got this. And this is how it is declared. It starts from 0. If we print the value, let's say 0 over here, it starts with 0, 1, 2, 3. The number is 4, but the starting will be done from 0 because 0 counts. Okay, so indexing is kind of like that. If I run the output here, for the 0th value you are going to get 85 over here. Then for the second value we have 92. For 1, this is the 1. This is not 2, this is 1. So, and over here if I run 3, it is going to print 23 as well. So what will happen if I run over here as 5, fifth student. See over here, if I run it once again, fifth student, the value is 0, the index value is 0, but here 5 number of characters are not there. So as 5 number of characters are not there, it is by default are bound to give a value which is 0. Now let's understand about the 2D array. I need to remove these things. So 2D array are like grid, a table or a matrix. It has rows and columns. The syntax is like array rows, first rows will be written and then we are going to write the columns. It is just like this one. This one is the row and this one is the column. 10, 20, 30, these are the row values, and 40, 50, 60, these are the 40, 50, 60, these are also the row values, but it is a 2 by 3 matrix, means 2 number of rows are there. Okay, 2 number of rows, and that is why it is written here. You will be able to see 2 number of rows are there. Copying these lines of code and entering it over here. Now let me show you the visual image, how it actually looks like. It's divided into 3 sections, 3 columns and 2 rows, and this one is a 2 by 3 matrix, and inside this 2 by 3 matrix we have these 3 values, means it is 10, it is 20, it is 30. Okay, and over here we have 40, 50, 60, 40, 50, 60. So we have 2 rows. It starts from 0, 1, 0, 1, 2. Okay, these are ROWS, W, and this one is the columns. So the matrix is kind of like that. In order to do any sort of arithmetic operation, we need to understand its positioning. All these things are elements or items, whatever you want to call. So what is the positioning of this 10 is the 0th column and 0th row. So if I want to print it, %d \n, it also starts with 0, 0th row and 0th column. And then if we run it, see, the value is 10. Same thing if I do it for 20, 30, 40. 20 will be what? Is 0th row, first column. So 0th row, and here I need to write 1. Okay, 1. So just like that, I want you to find out for the others. Okay, now if I want to add this one, %d \n, and then grid row number 0 and column 1 plus first row and the second column. Okay, I forgot to do this silly mistake. See, the value is 80 over here. Okay, means 20, 60 plus 20, it comes 80. Okay, so with that we can do any sort of arithmetic operations by using arrays. So with that, let's move on to our next chapter, which is strings. In C, a string is simply a 1D array of characters that ends with a specific invisible marker called null character as %0. If you want to print your name as, for example, name, my name is Bibu and it have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Number of the character that I have is 5. Okay, now if I print the value here, as it is a string and it starts with S, so %s will be there, not C. Then \n, comma, name, enter the value as name. So okay, printf. Okay, I forgot to use this one. see it is printing the value as Bibu or Bibu. Okay, so hopefully we got this. It's very simple and straightforward. Strings have multiple methods. Star LAN. It helps you to find the text length. I'm not going to explain it line by line. Just go and use ChatGPT and you will be finding it. Just practice it by yourself. Okay, so that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you love this video, then make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon for getting more and more important video updates, and also make sure to watch this video if you are facing any sort of GCC plus VS Code error. I guarantee you 100% you are not going to face any sort of GCC not found error. So with that, I will leave you as the same way. This is Bibu. Will be signing off.